again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Listen Up a Minute. I am your host, John Dowl, and I have with me the Reverend Vernon S. Billy Lee. Doc Christian is over on the keyboard, then Rodney Williams will be joining us. As a matter of fact, he's going to interview Reverend Lee today because they go back 50 years, and that's amazing to me because I'm only 58 years old, and they go back 50 years. But Rodney's going to come in and he's going to talk about you all's relationship and the lives that you've touched. And when you started way back at WXCX Channel 8, which is now WRIC.
That's right.
Which was the longest running program, continuous program to this day.
That's right.
And then when your family relocated to Portsmouth, you transitioned and you took that show to Wavy TV 10.
Wavy TV 10.
And so, folks, this is going to be a great show, an inspirational show. We hope you enjoy it. Thanks again, as always, to Derek Wright of Full Motion Videos, because without him, we'd be talking to ourselves, Larry Brown of LJ Brown Enterprises, and everyone that makes Listen Up possible. Thank you, and enjoy the show. And now, Rodney Williams and Reverend Billy S. Vernon Lee.
Community leader, reverend, songwriter, playwright, musician, pianist, father, grandfather, mentor, brother, friend, and family.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with the Reverend Vernon Billy Lee. To us, we called him Uncle Bill.
That's right.
And I'm talking, I was 15.
That's 15 years
I was
old.
15, and my mom said, I'm going to take you to Reverend Billy Lee's house. You're going to audition. And I was scared to death. And I came to your house, and I remember you were singing at the piano, and you were playing, and you asked me, you started singing, and you asked me to sing with you, and my life changed.
How about that?
That was 50
years ago.
I'm 65.
Wow.
I was 15.
Boy, I tell you, time passes.
And it was the Petersburg Youth Choir. So
Petersburg
tell me,
Youth
we're going to start right there. How did the Petersburg Youth Choir come
Well,
about?
you know, a lot of people give me credit for the Petersburg Youth Choir, and that's not the real story. The real story is Carol Moore, who was my niece. She got the young people together at Petersburg High School, and she came to me and she said, Uncle Bill, we want to start a gospel choir. I said, is that right? She said, yep, and want you to help us. And I said, I don't know about that. I was very busy at the time, but she said she insisted that I hear them sing. So of course, she being my niece, I said, okay, we'll do it. And so they came to me about 8 young people. To my surprise, they had a pretty good sound, but they needed a lot of work. But they had a good sound, and then I could feel something about them, the camaraderie, because they were her closest friends.
Okay.
Well, we'd schedule a rehearsal, and that was the first rehearsal. And believe it or not, we were born at Tucker's Funeral Home.
Oh, wow.
At the place for the dead, but we were born. That's where our first rehearsal.
I remember that.
Yeah, and we trained them, and the rest is history. All
Now,
I did was take over.
The thing, and I'm getting chills when I talk about it.
Yeah.
The thing about the choir was, it made us feel set apart.
Yeah.
People knew us.
And you were set
And
apart.
so it made us walk differently. It made us talk differently.
It did.
Okay? It gave us a purpose. It gave us a connection to community.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. But now, I remember the old bus,
JC.
JC. And I remember us riding around in JC. But I remember you coming to us and telling us we were going to have our own diesel bus.
Right.
And I didn't believe you. I mean, we all sat there and I was like, yeah, right, we're gonna have our own diesel bus.
Well,
how did it come about?
That came about too because we went to Kansas City, Missouri, the Gospel and Music Workshop of America with my mentor, the late Reverend Dr. James Cleveland. And we had JC, the school bus. And it was painted blue.
It was painted
and
blue.
Pepsi-Cola sponsored us by painting it for us, Petersburg Youth Choir, JC. And of course, when we got to Kansas City, people were driving up in diesel buses from all over the country. And when we drove up to the hotel in a school bus with our names on the side, well, we were the talk of the convention. Where they come from?
Country.
The country.
The country
Then
bus.
painted the school bus blue. They laughed at us, and we didn't do well that year even singing, but we learned some things. And I went back, I said, okay, they kind of made fun of us. Let's go back and know where the next convention would be held in New York at Madison Square Garden.
That's when I came in.
That's when you were there.
That's when I came in. That was my first performance.
That's right.
I came to you, and
Madison
2 weeks
Square
later,
we were in that.
I was singing on Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
And I was leading, nothing is impossible
If you
if you
believe
try. I was standing there with a blue robe, steady singing in Madison Square. I thought I had, and then we met James Cleveland. I met Shirley Caesar, Albertina Walker, all these people that I had only heard in their music, but I was actually meeting them.
That's right.
And standing on a stage performing with them. It was unbelievable.
Well, getting back to the bus, that's when I decided, okay, we got to get a bus from somewhere. Let's get a diesel bus. And I went to see a guy by the name of William Payton at the bank. And do you know he embraced the idea? And I talked to the parents. That's another thing that folk didn't realize. The parents were the backbone of Petersburg Youth Choir. If I said rehearsal started at 6 and would end at 11 or 12 that night, parents would back me up. It wasn't that I got to go to a movie or I've got a date.
I remember
if Billy Lee said that we stay in here until we learn these songs, we're going to do it. We would actually learn 2 or 3 songs that Saturday and sing them that Sunday with no music.
I know.
You have to
Afraid to
memorize.
death, scared to death, staying up. But now what it did was, and I ended up teaching, it made me always strive for excellence.
That's it.
And always reaching for the top.
That's right.
And telling them not accepting mediocrity, not accepting second place as being my place. Go strive for the top.
Aim for the top.
Aim for the top. And,
right.
and I've been living by that.
That's right.
I have devoted my life behind that.
Proud
And
of
it has gotten me into many doors.
Yeah.
And I want to think I've changed many lives because of that philosophy.
That's right.
Okay, and it started there.
Well,
but now we can't talk about the Petersburg Youth Choir without talking about Channel 8, the gospel truth.
They really helped us. Well, the entire community, that's how we got the diesel bus, paid for it in less than a year. Because we were singing concerts, doing 2 concerts a Sunday.
My daddy drove that bus.
Your dad drove the bus, and the parents co-signed, and we had no problems. Unity, and where there's unity, there's strength. And then, of course, what did you say we're going next?
Channel 8 TV.
Channel 8 TV.
How did that happen?
Oh, I went in and talked to the general manager. I said, I have some young people who are dynamic. I want to give them a chance. Could we have a little TV show or something at least once a month? And he looked at me. And I said, a public service, you're supposed to do some public service, and it would help them because they are more than a singing group. And he said, I like to hear them. Well, we stayed in rehearsal, I guess it was about 9 hours preparing to go to Channel 8 for the audition.
Demonstration, okay.
And when he heard us, he said, not only am I going to let you have your show, not once a month, can you do it every week? And that was it. Every week. And when you walked in the studio, you had discipline, you knew how to act, you knew
had to be on time.
You had to be on time. Never late.
You had to be on time.
23 years we were on television, longest running local show.
People called me your son because of TV show.
They thought you were my son.
And so, I mean, it got to the point where, it got to the point where I didn't even deny it.
Yeah.
Okay, because so many people thought, how's your daddy doing?
Yeah.
And I thought they were talking about my real dad, but no, they were talking about Billy Lee. And so I just went right with it. But you changed so many lives with that.
God's been good.
You changed so many lives and saved a lot of us. And so the Petersburg Youth Choir was just to be able to sing in it and be a part of it.
And then they made the recordings and all of that type
of thing. I can't tell you.
And we traveled the globe.
Yeah. And then, okay, so now we got to TV8.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you became a minister. How did that happen?
Well, God called me, and all my life, people would tell me because of my singing ability. I started at 6 years old, and they called me the little preacher. Well, I decided right then That's the very thing I won't be. I did not want to be a preacher. I don't want to preach. Now, even in high school, I wanted to be the president of the class. And they respected me in high school. But guess what? They always voted me the chaplain to do the prayer. Again, it hit me. That's one thing I'll never do because everybody says I'm going to be a preacher. I would go to the parties that we would have as teenagers in Peabody High School, and they would say, "What are you doing here?"
Because you're a preacher.
And I said, I'm coming to dance. They said, "No, you're going to be a preacher. You don't need to be here." They protected me, and I was a teenager. Well, as time would move on, I felt this urge saying, that's something that you've been called to do. But I fought it. And I went to my pastor. He said, "Oh, yes, it's in you. And you've got to accept the call. God is speaking to you. Certain things happen." And then I said, well, no, I don't want to do it. Then I got married at an early age. And I decided to move my family to Greenville, South Carolina with my sister and her husband. I'm going to run away from God. And as I went to Greenville, I didn't know that he was everywhere. Everywhere I went, he was there. And I felt this urge. I didn't hear a voice, but this urge. You must preach the gospel. It just came on me. Finally, I came back to Petersburg. My wife had quit her job at Virginia State. Luckily, she came back and got the job. And I went to my pastor, and he said, "I know why you're here." Before I could say anything, he said, "He's got you, and you got to do it." And I did my initial sermon.
Okay, tell me what was your first sermon?
My very first sermon was "No Turning Back" at the Mount Olivet Baptist Church, and my singing group was the Virginia Choral Ensemble. You couldn't get a seat in the church, upstairs packed, downstairs in the basement packed. You talk about nervous, but God took me through it, and we had a time.
Lee,
and that's the beginning.
My recital was called "No Turning Back."
You joke.
My senior recital at my university,
No Turning
at William
Back.
Murray, was called
What a coincidence.
"No Turning Back."
You never know. This is an
Oh my
awesome
God!
God.
I'm literally having chills that you told me that.
Yeah, that was the first sermon, and that's been.
What church? What was
That
your
was at
first
Mount
church?
Olivet
Okay.
Baptist Church.
Now, what was
My
your
first,
first
I was
church that you
called
pastored?
after 2 months of preaching. I was called to my first church, First Gravel Hill, Smithfield, Virginia, where it's really Rushmere, Virginia, but I like to call it Smithfield, Virginia, in the country, but a beautiful church, and what a beautiful congregation. They trained me in preaching. They had patience with me. I got over the call that first time I went there, and some lady came and she said, "That's the new pastor." She had never seen me, never heard me, but she said, "That's him." She said, "God showed it to me in a vision." 3 weeks later, I became the pastor-elect, and that church took care of me.
Now, how long did you stay there?
I was there for 8 years.
Okay.
And then I got a call to the Mount Olivet Baptist Church in Richmond, Southside. Now, every move I made, I would go because the church needed me, not for the money. I never went because I'm getting paid more here or here's a better opportunity. And my church couldn't understand, the first church, why I would leave, because I was having a good time. They loved me and I loved them, but God said, "You got to move. It's another church that needs you more than this one." I went to Mount Olivet. And then from Mount Olivet, of course, went to Pleasant Grove in Prince George.
Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, Christian.
Had both churches.
Oh, yes, but them old sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have
shouted-
mercy.
we
Them
shouted in
sisters
that.
could, oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy. They would get up there and sing. It would be like 5 of them.
Well,
Four or
that's
5 of them.
when church-
Oh,
that's
they used
when-
to sing. Didn't care how many. They could just start a song and John
That's
right
when
on.
church was church. We're missing that now. We're missing that now. Young people have an option. Do you want to go to church? We didn't have an option. You go on.
Lee, that is a thread. Pleasant Grove
Pleasant Grove.
led me and Christian
Yeah.
to Trinity Baptist Church.
That's right in Richmond.
Because he went to Pleasant Grove
That's-
after you,
Reverend A. Lincoln James.
A. Lincoln James, and me and Christian was playing for him, and there's always been a connection.
God was working the entire thing out, just like we're together now. He works it out. And I don't look too much on the past or my accolade. I don't look that much. I be looking around the corner to see, even at 84 years old, what's next?
What's next?
I'm waiting for
What's
it. What
next?
would you have me do? You kept me here this long. It must be something else. So I wait.
Because I've seen so many of those, my friends passed on.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, why? Why am I still here?
Still here for a
Why am I
reason.
still here?
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for the time, but I'm very cognizant that it's time. And like that song says, time is winding up.
Time's winding up.
Now I'm looking around the way the world is going around, and it just lets me know that time
It's winding up.
is winding
But you're
up.
still here for
But I'm still here.
you're still here.
And while I'm here, I got to tell the story.
Tell it.
I got to tell the story,
Tell it.
and I got to walk the walk.
There you go.
Because I've been seeing and walking in all this darkness, I'm thinking like us who we have to show the world.
Yeah.
We have to continue to show His goodness and show what it is to walk in His light. Because there's so much darkness.
God bless you. Well, you know how you make me feel. Seeing you say this and seeing you and still working with you when we get a chance. That's my reward.
Well, you have changed so many lives. Okay, so let's get back on our journey.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna say, package for you, Lord, COD.
Package for the Lord came by way of Marie Manigault.
That's it.
And what a lady, what a personality. She took the Petersburg Choir and showed the young ladies how to walk, how the young men would hold the arms up and help them up the steps. She polished us. And then she had this vision from God about the package from the Lord, and she said, I need you. She brought that choir together and brought others in the Petersburg community. The rest is history. I still have the video of it. It is tremendous. And believe it or not, the star of the show was a fellow by the name of Rodney Williams, who plays the greatest role of any actor could play, the role of Jesus Christ. And did you play it? It's amazing what we did with it.
It changed me.
It changed a lot of people.
It changed me. First of all, it made me know my Bible.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I had to know all those words.
You had to know the words.
She wrote it all in the script.
From the beginning to the end.
And I was so, some of the soliloquies were long.
That's
the
right.
Sermon on the Mount and the
right.
Beatitudes.
And what we had to do was put that together. And that's when Doc Christian came in and we did all of the music. All of the music.
Let me tell you, the scariest thing in that play was ascending at the end, going up those backwards.
God had to be with you because you went up those steps and you couldn't look down.
Couldn't look down.
Somebody
couldn't look
said
down,
you-
and as you're going up the steps,
steps.
the people are getting smaller and smaller, and you're getting higher and higher. And then at the moment you had to jump.
Get out.
You had to jump off the thing,
you
to
did.
jump down and hit the mattress, and then appear in the front like you had come.
It was something. Oh, how I miss those things
Oh,
nowadays.
Jesus, that scared me.
Yeah.
But
you did it.
that was done.
The role of Jesus Christ. What a
did that.
role.
And we did it here, then we did it down in Norfolk. We did it a couple of times.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so Miss Marie Manigault, she
was the brains behind that.
another
God put special
iconic
folk in our
woman.
lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another iconic woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have next on that paper, Robert?
I have one here now.
'Cause I wanna hear you
We're
sing.
going to go now to, okay, now, I have this thing that I wanted to do with you. I'm going to throw a name at you, and I just want you, this is called word association.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw a name, and you just tell me something, the first thing that comes to mind when you hear this name. Okay. Doris Allen.
Doris Allen. I first heard her, we called her Tony. And she was a radio announcer for WANT. That was the station for R&B and for gospel music.
Okay.
Tom Mitchell was there. They made gospel music what it is today. They personalized it. Doris Allen not only could speak well, she could sing. She was a contralto, and she had a presence on stage. James Cleveland came and heard her. I brought him to Petersburg, Peabody High School, and he heard Doris Allen singing with the Jewel Singers. And he said, I want you to go back with me tonight. He wanted to take her right then off stage and said, we go. And she said, I need to pray, and she never accepted it. But James Cleveland, that's how powerful she was. And today, of all the announcers I've ever heard, and I was even a radio announcer, but all of my cues, all of my stick-to-itness came from Doris Allen. What a personality she was.
Okay, we're gonna stay right there.
Okay.
James Cleveland, when you met James Cleveland?
James Cleveland, I met him, of course, in New Jersey. He was singing, and I asked him, could I please go back? Oh, he just meant so much to me. I idolized him. They let me go back. And I met him. He said, well, have you been to my workshop? I said, no, you need to come to my workshop. And of course, then we got personal. I could talk to him, he could talk to me. I visited him at his home, and we just had a time, and he taught me so much. I'll never forget, we were in Detroit, Michigan, and we had the organist guild, and they had the mass choir, 800 people in the choir. And they were singing the song, and he said, Lee, get on the organ. And I got on the organ, and the choir was singing, and all of a sudden he stopped the choir and said, wait. Lee, you're not doing it quite right. You're not hitting it right. I said, well, give me another chance, sir. And I played again. He's down right. I said, get off the organ. Billy Preston?
Oh, no, he called up Billy Preston.
Come here, Billy. Billy Preston. Lord have mercy. The boy got on the organ, and I felt that tall. Cleveland said, I did that because you were thinking that you were the best. And whenever you think that God ain't got nobody but you,
he got somebody.
You're in trouble.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted you to see that although you were good, God got somebody else that if you're not going to do it, God got somebody. That's what I learned from Cleveland.
Okay, I'm going to pull up album of Maggie Ingram.
Maggie Ingram. The lady came to Richmond with some little children. I was introduced to her by Gospel Joe Williams of the Harmonizing Four.
Harmonizing Four?
Yeah, Harmonizing Four. And Joe Williams said that the lady can sing, and so I'm going to help her out so she can come here with all these little children. But when I heard those folks sing, and that background she had, what a lady. What I learned from Maggie is this: set your goal, and even if you don't make it, never give up.
Never give up.
I got that from Maggie Ingram, and to this day, it works. Set your goal, and even if you don't quite make it, start all over again.
Okay.
Don't give up.
Okay, I'm gonna pull a name that you ain't gonna think about.
Okay.
Steve Bassett.
Steve Bassett. Steve Bassett was a Caucasian man in Richmond that had a magnificent band.
Yeah.
He saw us on TV. And he said, I've got this bad number, but that's the background I want, a gospel sound. And Steve Bassett came to me in humble Petersburg and said, I'd like to use your choir. I said, yeah, but you're R&B, you play that other secular music, and I don't think we're interested. He said, just give me a chance. We traveled to Richmond. And he gave us the audition, had the band and the orchestra, whatever.
Oh, I remember, I was right there.
Right there.
I was right there.
And then there was an Ain't Too Good for Her. And folks said, Lord, they're going to change him. But it was not a thing. It was a great experience. And we love Steve Bassett to this day.
Yes, it was. It was a great experience.
Yes.
Okay, here's another one. Roger Akers.
Roger Akers. Roger Akers wrote 3 songs for our album that we did.
Yes, he did.
And Roger was a little short guy and could write. And Roger Akers taught me another thing. Be at your best. Learn the music and give it all you have. Roger Akers.
Now, you know what the thing is about this is, along the way, everybody's dropping pearls.
Yes.
Everybody's giving you advice. Everybody's leaving you know,
with something.
With something.
That's right.
You know, and throughout my life, I picked that up.
Just pick it
that
up.
People that come in, they leave something. If you decide to listen,
right.
They leave something, and then they leave a spirit that stays. And you can count on that spirit and call on that spirit if you believe.
If you believe.
If you believe.
You got it. Yeah.
In that spirit.
Thank you, Rodney.
If you believe in that spirit. Okay, we're gonna go one more. Let's see. Okay, ONeill Twins.
Edgar and Allen ONeill Twins, St. Louis, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Mae Ford Smith introduced me to, she called them my twin boys. They could sing.
Yes,
And they had the Interfaith Choir of St. Louis, Missouri as their background singers. But when they traveled, most of the time it was just those two guys. And the ONeill Twins had a unique sound. They taught me how two people can be so close and blend their voices together. And twins can do that. Mm-hmm. And so they taught me, said, when you conduct a choir, think of us and think of twins, a set of twins. Blend. Don't have no voices really sticking out. Blended. And so when I think of the ONeill Twins, that's what I think about. Mm-hmm. Blending. Yeah. So all these, like you say, everybody's giving me something. Every last one of them, including you.
Because I remember when we were doing the choreography, and that was my house. That was you. That was me. That was in my wheelhouse, and it just added so much more to the whole thing. But now, what you pulled out of us was excellence.
God bless.
Because
you were special people.
You would, and when we were wrong, you would stop us.
Oh yeah.
It didn't matter
right.
whether we were in concert
That's right.
in front of thousands of people.
Right.
If the note was wrong, you would stop us. And then we'd get it right.
Oh yes. And we didn't have to do that often because once you knew I was
you didn't realize, but what people didn't understand, we had just learned it last night. So we had never heard the song. We didn't know the song. We just learned the words last night. Okay, and we singing it here in front of y'all 1,000. And then we holding a note for Jesus until Jesus comes home, and we going like, oh Lord. But people were loving.
They were, yes. I didn't realize it, but they were.
They were loving every minute.
Unique choir.
Who taught you to play the piano?
I taught myself in my home. My dad played, my sisters played, my brothers played.
You taught yourself?
So I taught myself, and I'd just go banging. They would let me just hit the fingers upside down. And I started in the windowsill. That was my keyboard. And the curtains and all that was my grand organ. And I'd hit the little buttons. So I just transferred to the piano. And it started hitting the right notes.
My first clarinet was a pencil. I used to take
You
the
had the pencil, but you played. Did you play? Do the finger.
Okay. And the teachers used to tell me, put that down, Rodney. Stop doing that,
But you were playing
I was
clarinet.
still playing.
They didn't realize.
And I would ask my mom and dad for a clarinet, and we couldn't afford a clarinet. Okay, couldn't afford it. Okay, it wasn't until the 6th grade that I got a clarinet. And I got a clarinet lead. When I tell you,
I went to played clarinet,
on a full scholarship.
Yes, you did.
Playing
the clarinet.
A clarinet that I started playing with in my dreams.
I
was playing with a pencil. Okay.
I made that an honor student.
Okay, and then I made it into a full ride. I got the Stephen Pallades Music Scholarship. This gentleman that died the year that I was coming in, he had died and he left all of this money for a clarinetist. And in walks.
Look at God.
In walks me. I went to William Murray for free.
God is
for free.
And
my mama didn't know how they were going to pay because my brother was already at William Murray.
Right.
So they was like, we can't afford to have 2 of you at William and Mary, so God
stepped in.
Lee.
You know I know.
Lee!
I know the story.
So people ask me, why do I? Because he shows me, he lets me realize by giving me things that I couldn't imagine could possibly be mine.
God bless you.
And so I have to tell.
Okay.
I gotta tell somebody.
Yeah, tell somebody. Tell the story.
Now I'm like you. I kept telling people I'm not gonna teach, Lee. People kept telling you're gonna be a teacher, you're gonna be a preacher, you're gonna be a teacher. I kept saying I'm never gonna be a teacher. What have I done all my life?
Look at God. Teaching. And still teaching.
Teacher.
I admire you.
And I didn't think it.
God bless.
But because of people like you, I didn't just teach. I taught.
Yeah, you didn't play.
Because I had things to do.
I've seen your
students. And I had things to tell.
That's right.
And I keep trying to tell them, I got to tell you, even if you don't want to hear it.
That's right. I'm going to tell you.
I got to tell you.
Keep
Because
teaching.
if I don't tell you,
right.
I can pay for that.
That's right. And you're still teaching
And that's
and
it.
keep on.
And because of that, we're going to go right over here, Christian. Guess
Okay.
what? We're going to
Yeah.
sing something.
That's my boy.
We're going to sing something together. Because this interview would not be right if I had Billy Lee sitting up in here and we didn't sing something.
I guess we
Now,
can't. Unrehearsed, but we'll
we're going
get
to do
through
something.
it. Okay,
Let's
we
do
got
Great Day.
Okay, let's try it.
Let's do Great Day.
We got the best guy over there on that instrument, so
Yeah, Christian. And you
let's
know
do
you
it.
opened many doors for him.
that's my man.
You got to start it on the radio.
That's another story.
Oh, that's a whole other story.
That's a whole story. Who you playing, Doc? What's your
Zion
name?
Wall.
Zion Wall. Rodney? I used to call on you like that on the TV. Rodney?
Here we go.
I see, can I find you? Go ahead. Great day.
Gonna be a great day. Ooh.
Great day. The righteous are
Always gonna be
marching.
a great
day.
I'm waiting down here, waiting on a great day. Oh, yes, I am.
Hallelujah.
Haley,
God's gonna build up Zion's wall. Yes, he will.
Oh, yes, he will. Lee.
God's gonna build up Zion's wall. Sing it right. Give me a verse.
If you get to heaven, oh, if you get there before I do, hallelujah, I know Lee, God's gonna build up, he'll build up Zion's wall. Tell him, Lee.
Tell all of my friends
Hey,
that Billy Lee will be there soon.
oh,
Hallelujah.
yeah. Hey, God's gonna build up Zion's wall. Yeah, yes, he will. God's gonna build up. He'll build up Zion's wall.
Talking about a great day.
You don't believe that I've been redeemed, my God. God's gonna build up, he'll build up Zion's wall.
All you got to do is follow me down to Jordan's stream. Hallelujah!
God's gonna build up, he'll build up Zion's wall.
Great day,
Great day,
God.
God's gonna build up, he'll build up Zion's wall. Hey, great day. You
I
know,
feel that. No, I get
singing,
around. I don't even need to see
yeah.
nobody. I just have a good time.
and it's free.
Yeah, I don't need nobody.
You know, people. I wake up. I wake up singing. I wake up every morning. Me and my little dog. 6 o'clock in the morning. He gets
Singing.
up, and I get up and I sing because my grandmother. She died at 109.
Okay.
But every morning,
Was she singing?
I would hear her singing and praying for me.
Oh,
Every night, I'd hear her singing and praying for me.
Okay.
I just want my grandson. I just want that grandson. And she would just pray for me. So every day I wake up,
you sing this song.
I sing.
Keep doing it.
I sing.
Keep doing it.
Because it starts,
Early in the morning. And
it
let it.
lets me know I'm alive.
There you go. All
Lets me
right.
know I'm here.
What do we got next?
What was that, Christian? You got something for it?
All God's children.
All God's children. Oh, I haven't done that in years. I guess I know it.
Okay, y'all. We're going to sort of go to church
Yeah,
here.
let's go to church.
So wherever you are, we want you to put your hands together and join in with us as we sing this little song.
You got the melody?
All God's children
That's it. Oh, God's children. Oh, God's children. Oh, Jesus. To be God's children, you must be born again. Say it again. Oh, God's children. Hey, I'm talking about God's children. I'm talking about God's children. To be God's children, you must be born again. If you think you a Christian by joining the church, you just fooling yourself. If you think you a Christian by joining the church, oh, you just fooling yourself. If you think by serving the Lord, by singing on the choir, by serving on the board, stop fooling yourself. You must be born again. Hey, I'm talking about if you a Christian by joining the church, you just fooling yourself. If you think you a Christian by joining the church, you just fooling yourself. And if you think that serving the Lord, by singing on the choir, by serving on the board, stop fooling yourself. You must be born again. Hey, I'm talking about God's children. I'm talking about God's children. Good God Almighty. God's children. Hey, just to be God's children, you must be born. To be God's children, you must be born. To be God's children, you must be born again. That's all right. Ain't nothing like it. Good old gospel music. You know, that new stuff is good. Yeah,
but when you take it back,
you got to go back.
when you go back to the old time way, that's the way to do it. Okay, I like some of that new stuff.
And hear the words.
But the old time way.
Yes, sir.
Old time way.
Yes, sir.
Old time
It
stuff.
ain't all
Touch your soul.
What you say.
That's it. That's it.
Ooh,
Hey, let the church say amen. We're going to have to cut this out before we shut up in
we're
here.
gonna mess up in
Okay,
here.
we have enjoyed you. We certainly hope you enjoyed you. Give us a big Lord. We certainly hope you enjoyed us today. I have been so happy to work here with Reverend Vernon Billy
My
Lee.
pleasure.
And thank you so very much. And God bless you. See you next time. Hey, look, I'm so happy to be the co-host of this podcast. This is something brand new for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell your friends that we're doing something good. Up to the minute. Make sure you come back and see it and be in it. All right.
Wow, folks, we are back. What a way to close out a show. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Reverend Lee, good to see you as always.
Same
Thank
here.
you. And
My
congratulations. It's always nice to see pioneers be recognized.
Yes.
No way you could have envisioned this way back when you first
Way back,
started.
yeah.
But good to see you again.
Same
Continued success. And we understand that you're going to be retiring soon.
Be retiring soon from singing the gospel. I'll be doing a little bit at the church, but after the hitting the stage, I'll let that go and train the young folks.
There you go. Well, whatever we can do, listen up a minute. Reach out to us. We'll be glad to help in any way we can.
Thank you so
Folks,
much.
until next time, thank you again to all the crew and to Doc Christian and Rodney Williams and, of course, Derek Wright and all the Listen Up team for making this possible. Thank you again. Be sure to just Google Listen Up a Minute to watch this and all of our shows. We encourage you to do that and pass it along. And until next time, for the entire Listen Up family, I'm John Dowl. Thank you for joining us, Reverend Vernon S. Billy Lee. Good to see you again.
Same here.
Thank you again and congratulations for all the lives that you have touched and continue to touch.
Bless you.
This is Listen Up a Minute, folks. Until next time.